Breaking tonight, the Buffalo Police Department is asking for the public's help in finding a missing 15-year-old girl with special needs. Pheasant hunters may be in for a tough season as Minnesota's pheasant population has dropped 26% in the last year. So, Paul, it's really starting to finally feel like fall outside. What can we expect for the rest of the week? While some lawmakers are making a push for tech giant Amazon to build a $5 billion headquarters in Minnesota, Governor Mark Dayton says he will restrain any decision because of local competitors like Target and Best Buy. Safety is on the mind of St. Paul school bus drivers this fall as the district is trying to increase the number of students who ride. The Minnesota Twins played their first playoff game in 7 years, and it didn't go as Minnesota fans had hoped. Backlash about Trump's decision to end DACA is coming from more than just Congress. Some state officials are also standing against the president. So, Jeremy, I understand that we have some big news coming from the St. Cloud State men's hockey team. Trees around Minnesota are already changing colors weeks before autumn, and it might not have anything to do with the upcoming fall season. With other major events in big cities like New York, Chicago, Austin, law enforcement officials are trying to assure citizens frightened by the events in Las Vegas that there's nothing to worry about. Being tall has its benefits, and according to a new study, its drawbacks. The research just released Tuesday indicates that taller people have a higher risk for blood clots. The Cleveland Indians made history today by winning their 21st straight baseball game. The Indians hold the record for the most games won in a row in the American League. The Current Tech High School building just celebrated 100 years this July, but community members as well as school district officials expect that Tech's tradition of excellence will continue through the walls of the new school. SCSU consistently uses the preponderance of evidence in all of its criminal cases. So whether a student is accused of theft or vandalism or sexual assault, the level of evidence required for consequences like suspension or expulsion is consistent. Thank you, Bree and Jenna. So I am here outside of Sears at the Crossroads Center Mall, where they recently announced that they will be closing their doors to the public in January. And this comes as pretty significant news to our community, as this was actually one of the founding anchor stores of our mall back in 1966, over 50 years ago. Thank you, Tanya and Aiden. I had the amazing honor to travel to Washington, D.C. with 75 brave Minnesota men and women who fought for America's freedom. Here's a look into their trip and their stories. By the dawn's early light, an adventure began for 75 Minnesota veterans as they left the lakes of Minnesota to visit the memorials of the nation's capital.
I've never been to Washington, D.C. before.
Those who pledged allegiance to our nation in their youth.
I went in when I was 16, a year early. My mother signed the papers and off I went.
Are honored at every turn for their service.
Mail call, ladies and gentlemen. Mail call.
With letters.
Thank you for your bravery, your hard work. You are so kind. We love you.
And noble greetings.
Thanks for saving the world.
Brave heroes were lost and bold sacrifices were made to protect the broad stripes and bright stars that we so proudly honor.
I'm coming as a stand-in for those who can go, that didn't make it back from Korea.
Though these men and women represent our patriotism,
I was a Rosie the Riveter.
Their stories remind us that our freedom is not free.
I was stationed in Germany for 29 months.
In St. Paul, working on the B-24s.
Every meal we had was boiled potatoes and wieners.
For some, the trip is a family affair.
I'm with my oldest brother. He was in the Navy, I was in the Army. And then he has one of his daughters with him as a guardian.
That's granddaughter and daughter-in-law and great-grandkids, and that's grandma. That's her.
The memorials in D.C. stand to remind us of what so proudly we hailed.
It's also overwhelming. Takes my breath away.
In the land of the free and the home of the brave. Piper Shaw.
God bless America.
UTVS News. The Twin Cities Honor Flight makes 2 trips to D.C. every year with veterans, one in the fall and one in the spring, and the organization really makes an effort to make everything about the experience nothing short of amazing. Everywhere the vets went, there were people cheering and thanking them, giving them hugs, and it's a really special way to honor those who have served. Husky baseball stepped up to the plate last night at Miracle Field as they joined the Miracle League, a team of central Minnesota kids with special needs, for a night on the field.
It's the first time we've had the Huskies out here, so we're really excited. We try to get as many sports teams out here for the kids so that they can experience other players.
The Miracle League is made up of roughly 70 kids, with 6 teams in the fall and 8 teams in the spring. But with over 7,000 kids with special needs in the St. Cloud area, Coach Mumm says he'd love to see the league grow.
Well, the field is here. Nothing would make me happier than to have another couple of nights a week that we could put players out here to play, give them the opportunity to play baseball.
Player Robbie Bizdock looks forward to evenings in the park with kids and Huskies alike.
Be around people that I know and helping people out that need it.
And although the kids admire the Husky players,
they're so excited. These kids look up to the Huskies like they're professional players. I mean, they're heroes.
The true MVPs of the game are the kids.
The Huskies won't be playing. What they do is that they're called buddies. So they help the players out. So they'll help them bat, they'll help them field the balls, they'll help them throw them in. Their biggest job is to protect the players.
The Huskies, kids, and parents are all playing on the same team with the same prize.
The joy that these kids get, that's what keeps me going, that's what drives me to do what I do.
Piper Shaw, UTVS News. A new tradition of excellence kicked off today as ground was broken at the site where the new Tech High School will be built.
With every shovel of dirt, with every stone and tile laid, we are actually building futures.
Though the referendum for the $104.5 million project passed by only 0.35% in November, the talk of a new tech has been tossed around for years.
You know, I remember when I received my first teaching position way back almost 30 years ago, and it happened to be at Tech, and back then we were also talking about replacing an old Tech.
The new school will be able to house 1,600 students, have 6 learning communities, an 800-seat auditorium, new technology, a multi-purpose gym, and
for once, we get to have all of our competitive activities right here on this site. And that's been a long time in coming.
The current Tech High School building just celebrated 100 years this July, but community members as well as school district officials expect that Tech's tradition of excellence will continue through the walls of the new school.
The new Tech High School will be transformative for the community. It will reshape the community, and it will reshape the lives of thousands of young people.
And the young people in St. Cloud and future Tech graduates are just as excited to see the shovels dig.
I'm excited to go to Tech.
Piper Shaw.
Our students are certainly blessed, but they also deserve the best.
UTVS News.